I'm Sharon Savidson. Welcome to my podcast, Uplevel Your Life with Sharon. I'm a certified coach and a holistic practitioner. I'm also a mother of 2 adult children. I started this podcast so that I can give you bite-sized pieces and tools that you can take away with you, so that you can use these in your daily life. In all of my years of practice, my clients have told me that it helps them to have specific tools that they can use and practice on a daily basis. So, I want to provide you with many tools, and then you can decide which of the tools resonate with you that you can use on a daily basis or when you need them. So whether you are feeling frustrated with life or you're just looking to enhance your life, this podcast is for you. If you are ready to uplevel your life, you're in the right place. So let's move forward together. So today we're going to talk about what it means to uplevel your life. So upleveling means that you're moving from where you currently are towards where you want to be. So from an undesired state to a more desired state. And I believe that this is a 4-step process. Identify, cleanse, imprint, and maintain. So have you ever felt stuck and frustrated that even though you're trying things, nothing changes? So what if I told you that upleveling your life is possible, but it takes more than just positive thinking? So personally and professionally, I've learned that it's just by saying that you're going to change, or just by thinking positively, or saying affirmations, it's not enough. And it's not going to get you the results that you want. We can't just plant new thoughts and expect them to thrive if our inner world is cluttered with negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, old traumas, negative patterns. So before we can imprint new positive thoughts that'll produce the results that we want, we first have to identify what's going on inside of ourselves and remove what isn't serving us. Let's use the analogy of a garden. A beautiful, thriving garden doesn't just happen, right? It requires attention, care, effort, nurturing. So when you look at the garden, what do you see? You may see overgrown weeds, stones, pests, things that you don't want or they don't belong there. In this analogy of the garden, these things represent our inner life, right? Of self-doubt and shame, fear, guilt, grief that we carry. And, we can choose to ignore these feelings, and often we do, and we just shove them down and not deal with them, just hoping they'll go away on their own. But just the same as weeds in a garden, if we don't remove them, they're just going to grow stronger, maybe take over, and then it's harder to create the life that we really want. So the first step in this process is to identify what's going on in your life, right? We're looking at the overall picture, and then when we look at the different areas where you may be stuck or you want change to happen, then we become more specific. So when we know what we're looking at, then we can decide whether we want to ignore it, let the weeds grow, or if that's something that we want to start working on. So it could be one area of your life, or it could be every area of your life. All right, so let's say we've decided that we've made the decision to revitalize the garden. So the second step in the process is to cleanse and remove what isn't working. So let me be honest. This step can bring up a lot of stuff. It may not be easy, but it'll definitely be worth it. We may feel resistance, like grief over letting go of the familiar, fear of the unknown. And as we start to remove the weeds and clear the soil, we may also come across things that we didn't expect to find. So we could feel frustration or impatience just because taking care of ourselves, it takes time and it takes effort, and this is normal. But as we work through our emotional wounds and limiting beliefs, our old narratives, we're creating the space for something new to happen. So once we've done that, it's time to imprint what we want. We're now ready to plant the seeds to create the future that we want. A future filled with confidence and joy, abundance, love, health. we need to spend some time thinking about what it is that we really want. We wouldn't just throw random seeds into the soil or plant a cactus if our end goal is to create an English garden. We want to be strategic about which seeds and flowers we plant and where we place them so that we can get the best outcome. All right. So once we've done that, we can now move on to maintaining. As the seeds begin to grow, we don't just walk away. A thriving life, just like a garden, requires continuous care. So we water, we nurture, we adjust as needed. We protect ourselves from negative external influences. Could be thoughts, people, situations. Just like a gardener would shield young sprouts from harsh weather and pests. We learn to listen to ourselves, our intuition, about what we need, what's good for us. So upleveling isn't a one-time process. It's an ongoing cycle. Every step, whether it's identifying, clearing, imprinting, or maintaining, is a step towards upleveling your life, a step towards the life that you want. And in future episodes, we'll dive deeper into each one of these steps. Thank you for listening to this episode of Uplevel Your Life with Sharon. Congratulations on taking a step towards obtaining the knowledge and tools for your well-being and your success. But remember, knowledge alone isn't enough. And true transformation comes from consistent action. So what insight from today's episode will you be able to apply to your life? I'd love to hear from you. Please send me a message. And for more information, please visit my website at www.sharonsavitson.com. If this podcast has been helpful, please subscribe and share. And together we can uplevel and inspire more people to live their best life.